folks, I'm Ronwise Gamgee and welcome to Quick and Dirty Roleplaying. In this video, I'll talk about the implications of using the advantage-disadvantage mechanics in tabletop role-playing games that use flat distribution dice rolling for outcome determination. The impetus for this topic is the game system that Trevor Duvall is developing for the 4th season of Me, Myself, and Die for his Broken Empire's sim-light tabletop role-playing game. The system itself, at the time of this recording, is called the Success Level System, probably due to its influence from Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition's success level mechanics. In Broken Empires, a character's skills are rated as percentages, similar to that of basic role-playing and many of the Warhammer TTRPGs. This is the most direct way to figure out how good a character is at a skill when performing it in challenging and stressful situations where the consequences for failure are significant, which is part of the appeal of games that use the basic role-playing system. Task resolution is also simple as pie. Roll equal to or under your skill rating with a d100 to succeed. With Broken Empires, however, the number on your tens digit generates the success levels, which gauge the quality of your success. So roll as high as possible, but do not exceed your skill level, aka blackjack style. I personally dig this style of roll under flat distribution. My gripe with basic role-playing has been in the various ways that the generic system itself and its derivatives have typically handled difficulty modifiers, either as a flat modifier to the base skill level, or modifying the base skill level by a percentage, such as half skill rating for hard tasks or 1/10 skill rating for Herculean tasks. Flat modifiers affect the net outcome of a skill rating equally, regardless of one's level of proficiency, whereas multiplying or dividing the base skill level either requires math to be done every time a non-standard task is attempted, or it requires more writing space on the character sheet. The draw for multiplying or dividing base skill for various difficulties is that it reinforces that hard tasks remain hard and Herculean tasks remain Herculean for these human characters. This is actually quite punishing, however, and it's not something I'm in favor of, at least not with skills rated in percentages. In this regard, I prefer the dice system of Righteous Blood, Ruthless Blades, where difficulty is rated from 2 to 10, and character proficiency is rated in a pool of d10s, typically from -2d10 to 4d10. The approach I'm more in favor of for systems that have lots of granularity are those where, as you improve beyond semi-competent, which would be 50% of chance of succeeding in default adventuring situations, difficulty modifiers affect you less because you're just that good. One system that serves as a prime example of this design philosophy is GURPS, with its 3d6 roll under mechanic. Due to the bell curve distribution of results from a 3d6 roll, 48.14% of all rolls tend to fall within the 9 to 12 range. As a consequence, modifiers have the greatest percentile impact on skills that fall within the 9 to 12 range, and modifiers that bring base skill ratings to those levels have the greatest percentile impact on them. In terms of what's happening in the game world, if a journeyman with a skill of 10 and an expert with a skill of 14 perform a risky maneuver, one that would impose a -2 penalty, their journeyman is going to be penalized more percentage-wise, by almost 25%, compared to the expert, who will be penalized less percentage-wise, just under 17%, by the same -2 penalty. Due to the bell curve nature of 3d6, however, the blackjack style of rolling, roll under but as high as possible, doesn't work due to the fact that rolls tend to end up in the 9 to 12 range more often than not, incentivizing players to metagame modifiers to reach a skill of 12 as much as possible. So we've got the directness of rating skills in percentages and a d100 roll under mechanic with basic role-playing, along with an easily applied blackjack style of quality determination. And we have the risk cushioning that high skill levels provide with a 3d6 bell curve with GURPS. So how can we combine the two? Trevor Duvall's solution is to provide an advantage/disadvantage mechanic similar to 5th edition, where if a task is easier than standard adventuring difficulty, roll one or more d10s and use the most favorable roll as the tens place. And if the task is harder than standard adventuring difficulty, roll one or more d10s and use the least favorable roll as the tens place. So after cross-referencing 3d6 dice probabilities and the dice probabilities for advantage/disadvantage on d100 systems, I've made the following observations. 1. With a base skill level of 10 on 3d6 and a base skill of 50 on d100, both of which are 50%, a modifier of plus or minus 2 affects a 3d6 roll pretty similarly to the application of one advantage or disadvantage die on a d100 roll. Having high skill ratings on 3d6 and d100 with adds/disadds insulate the impact of their percentage penalties, incentivizing highly skilled characters to take risks that would deter lesser skilled characters. With low skill ratings, flat modifiers on 3d6 have a greater impact than advantage dice on d100. In this regard, I find 3d6 plus mods better represents how low skilled characters can still perform easier tasks more reliably. On the other hand, for a d100 low skill character, a low skill not being able to take as much advantage of an add die as, say, a mid-skilled character could represent a low-skilled character not being able to make the most of an easier situation. Take that rationalization with a grain of salt, if you wish. By and large, using advantage or disadvantage dice on d100 provides an approximation of very similar percentile changes that flat modifiers have on a 3d6 dice roll, while retaining the directness of seeing your skill rating as a percentage. This, to me, is more favorable than multiplying the skill rating by a percentage to emphasize the effects of an especially difficult or easy task on a character's chance of success. Also, I find the experience of rolling with advantage or disadvantage to be more satisfying than simply adjusting a number, and I'm pretty confident that a large portion of people who played D&D 5th edition feel the same way with advantage-disadvantage mechanics. So, if you like this video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment, please keep it respectful and relevant. Until next time, folks, take care and play to find out what happens.